Okay, so moving on a little further with the box modelling of the Minotaur, I'm going to add some more geometry, not a great deal more, and then begin to refine the form. These early stages don't take too long, so refining this basic form only took about 10 minutes, and that's with explaining it on the video as well. So we'll take about the same amount of time to now just add some more geometry and just do some basic refinement. So we're now using, instead of using the extrude tool now, as we did to get this shape, we're going to use a few splits first of all. So I'm going to go into edge mode. So that's either using little button down here to the bottom middle, or just simply by using the keyboard commands. So keyboard S for edge, and then Shift and X gives me a split right the way around, and then keyboard A to vertex mode, and using W for move at the same time. I'm just going to tweak a few of those polygons to give some bulk to the thigh area. And again, as I keep mentioning, I'm looking off screen here, so I'm looking at my reference. At this stage really it doesn't need a lot of reference because it's basic human anatomy, and if you're quite good, or if you've got any 2D skills, you know, human anatomy, you can pretty much work to that. So all I'm doing is giving it a thigh shape. Again, very few polygons here. Now we want to build a calf muscle here, so there isn't enough polygons there, so I'll do the same again. Keyboard S for the edge, and then Shift and X gives us a split right the way around, so I can build up some kind of volume that will be the calf muscle. It's a fantasy character, so it's obviously a cross between a humanoid leg and some sort of bovine leg, so it's got a cloven hoof down at the bottom, so we've got to be a little bit liberal with the truth here. So I'm going to bring that, what will be the hoof, forward. Keep looking back and looking at it in lots of different angles. It's way too far forward at the minute, but we're going to correct that in a moment. So we'll bring that leg back. The knee area still sitting too far forward. Okay, bringing all of that back, and then bring the hoof area back as well, and then arch that round slightly, keeping roughly to the ground plane now. It's a little bit more like we need, not quite where we want, but we've got a lot of changes to do up top. So I'm going to bring the groin area down slightly and in slightly, and bring this belly area out quite substantially because it's quite a bulky chap based on me. So bulky around the midriff like so, and up to what will be the chest area. You can see we're not adding any polygons here, we're just refining what we've already got really. And then go back to this curvature of the spine perhaps. And I'm looking just to try and match the basic shape to what I've got as a reference. I'm going to add in lots more detail at a later stage, but for now we're just looking for some sort of shape, so the roundness of the belly. I'm thinking there now that I might need to get in an extra polygon ring right the way around. So keyboard S for edge, split it right through, and that gives us just a little bit more to play with. As you can see, straight away I can round that off a little bit more. I haven't really discussed edge loops yet, so I've just started to see a couple of things that I want to do with edge loops, but I'm not going to get into that until later on. Again, a lot of these polygons will change, and the shape of the polygons and the flow of the polygons will change. So we'll discuss that when we come to starting the detail. So some basic thighs, basic belly, chest. Head's way too big, so we'll start bringing that neck in a little bit there. And if you look at the original reference, the head was no higher then the back of the shoulders. So we'll bring that around slightly. Again, just putting it roughly where we need it. Ready for the next stage, which will be adding more polygons and refining more. So you can see the speed that I'm moving now because it's so rough. I keep spotting areas that fall out of sync and then I go back and fix them again. Or they would look right from one angle, then we get to the other and it doesn't look right. Okay, back up to where we were on the head. Starting to think I'm going to need another split going in there soon, but try and resist putting too many splits in at this stage. So bringing the arm size down somewhat. What I can do there is select the end polygon, keyboard D, and scale that down. That'll become the wrist. And I can start move that around to where I want it to go. If you need to select a ring, select two polygons and you want to select the whole ring there, you can just select two and then Alt E selects all the way around, and that can help you if you want to move a joint like so. And that's one of the big reasons why we don't add too many polygons in, because if you've got polygon splits here and here and you start moving that center, you're not going to be able to move it quite as easily. So the less polygons we have to work with at the moment, the better it is for refining the shape. As you can see, I can quickly get a better idea of form like so, and that's just helped me move the arm roughly where I want it, and I can rotate that set of polygons as well and move them and scale them should I need to with keyboard E. I don't need to, but I just thought I'd show you that one. So that's quite a good example of why you would want to limit the amount of polygons you have. The minute you start splitting and cutting and adding lots of polygons, you lose the ability to freeform with any kind of speed, which is exactly the ability we need at the moment, or facility we need at the moment. I'm going to drop that arm back a little bit, and I'm going to drop off the end here out with an extrude, which, as you can quickly tell, is going to be his hand. Just using an extrude and then a rotate and then a scale. All commands that you need to become very familiar with very quickly. That's the scale. So I did a select a ring quite quickly there, so I selected two and then like so, holding down shift, double click the second one and that selects the ring all the way around as well. And that would help me to scale that hand like so. Okay. As you can see now, with very few more polygons, we're actually getting the shape into some sort of order, semblance of order of the original. Now, he's angled backwards for some reason. So as we've created him, he's slipped backwards, which isn't what we want. We want this center. Basically, the center, the weight should be over his feet, really, to give him some kind of balance. Center of balance would be well off. So one of the ways we can do that is if we switch to the second column along here and go to soft selection and then click on the feet, and then using the mouse roll up or down you can increase the amount of effect of soft selection. So as you can see, as the red dots are moving up here as I'm rolling the mouse, the area of effect is moving up the body. And what I'm going to do, once I've got to a decent height, I think I'm just going to then slide those feet back like so. You can see that's moved his center of gravity right back where we would want it, which will give it some kind of reality really. It just would not look right if the centre of gravity was off. His balance would not work. We can switch that off, just level those feet out a little bit there. Definitely want this creature to have his feet firmly on the ground, and then just put some more definition into where the hooves are going to be. What we'll actually do now is just add a few more polygons there, because we're comfortable with where those feet are sitting now. The calves look good, the ankles look good, so I think to do keyboard Z extrude, whoops, wrong button, and then keyboard A, and then just tweak those down. That gives us a bit more definition where the hoof's going to be. Now at the back of the ankle, with it being a bovine leg, there's a little protrusion here, so I'm going to run a split. Just make sure I run a split round that, like so. I'm going to use face mode and just extrude out once and once again. So at least the polygons are there ready for when I need them. So again, remember it's about silhouette. I wasn't adding too much detail, I was just adding some definition to that portion of the leg. So comfortable with that for now. Again, we'll change the flow of the polygons, but for what we're about at the moment, that's absolutely fine. Just refining the muscle around the chest area there. The silhouette of it, and I want to bring out what will become his shoulder blade area, like so, because there will be more mass out at the back there. Okay. So we've moved on quite nicely really, with about another 10 minutes further on than the first session, and that's given us a much more defined shape with very few more polygons, so we could still move this character around quite a lot. No detail in the face, no real detail in the body, very few polygons for the leg. The only thing I'm going to do before we end this section is I'm going to add the polygons for the fingers. Now I wouldn't normally do this unless I was happy with where my hands were, my arms were located, and looking at my reference I'm quite comfortable with where they are. That would be the pose that I would want to model this model in, with the arms forward to make it easy for rigging. Now one thing we didn't say at the start of this is this model won't be for game, this will be for taking into a high-res package, or even carrying on in silo and going high-res for animation rather than for a game. So most of what we're aiming for is good polygon flow that can be used for creating high-res meshes. So the pose is a very standard pose that most modelers would use. So here we go, let's go into the hand. This creature's got 3 fingers on each hand and obviously a thumb. So what I'm looking for is to put 3 polygons on the end here, and that would give me the ability to extrude out from each one. What I could do if I was doing point by point modeling is just do 1 finger and then basically copy the finger and paste it in, but I won't do that for this session. I will just do what I'm about to do, which is extruding it off. Now I'm going to do the thumb first and quickly just extrude off once, rotate slightly like so. Just tweak it a little bit with vertex mode. Back to keyboard D, face mode, and just do another extrusion. And that would be probably for now just enough polygons for his thumb. Now to get the polygons for his hand, what I'm going to do is put some splits along the hand here. I'm not going to do them all the way up to the wrist because I just want to keep it down at this end. So I'll start it down here and using keyboard X and then just placing the points where I want, like so. We're splitting the polygons, adding new points and adding new edges, like so. Now that's given me a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-sided polygon there, which I generally don't ever use. I'm going to leave it there for a moment. Most of my modelling I use quads all the way around. As you can see so far, this is 100% quads apart from what we've done here. Occasionally we build in triangles, tries, and I do use n-gons or multi-sided, more than 4-sided polygons like this, but it's very rare, and before I move on I usually fix that. So I've done that so far, so you can see that I've now got 3 faces along here which will become the fingers, so I'm okay with that for now. I'll just escape from that tool, select that face. Well, let's just slightly change the shape of these polygons to get them more finger-like, and then I'm going to start with the middle one, and I'm just going to extrude it down once again, rotate it forward, just move a couple of those polygons into a place that I would want them. Face mode again, and Z for extrude, and then just bring that along there like so, and then go back to point mode and just tweak it. That's just giving me one large central finger for now. Just quickly looking round the whole one. And that's pretty much where I'd want it to be for now. Again, we'll refine that later, so I'll quickly do the same for these other 2. Not really taking any time over this at all, just literally giving myself a chunk of polygons to represent the fingers. When we come back on the next pass or the hand pass, we'll really go to town with these and start getting some knuckle detail in. For now, quite comfortable just to have the fact that we've got some fingers on there. Tweaking is a massive part of this process, as you can see, and all the mouse clicks you can probably hear is me just tweaking really, which is deciding how to or where I want a particular shape to emerge by moving the points. You can tweak edges and you can tweak faces. I just happen to tweak single point or vertex more than anything else. I'll just quickly show you. Actually, you can go into edge mode and tweak with edges. I'm using obviously edge mode, and then go back to points for a second, and then holding down control is how you tweak, like so. If you can look at it from a distance, that hand is way too large, so we haven't really been concentrating on the size. So what I can do there is, if I select the end 3 fingers, polygons like so, and use keyboard plus, you can see that every time I hit plus, it moves the selection further down. As you can see there, it's just helped me select all of that, all about the thumb, which I should have selected the end of the thumb actually. And when I've got all of those selected, I can just scale them down like so. And then also move them around, and again you can see, because I haven't put much definition in the arm, the forearm gives me lots of ability to move this around. And we'll just move it till we get it to a fairly reasonable pose, like so. That will do it, and that leaves me feeling quite comfortable about where the hands are going to be. Now, one thing I'm going to do is to sort out this 6 or 7 sided polygon here. I'm going to run a split all the way along. I'll just select it to show you. So what I did there was I selected 1, then 2. We're using Shift, and then Alt and E selects the loop all the way around, just to show you that. So that loop will go all the way around there, and in a moment I'll do perhaps all the way down here as well, but for the moment I just want to run a split all the way down there, as you can see. So it's run it right the way through the middle, and there's no reason that that causes me a problem. Added more detail, but we're not really going to change that pose silhouette that much now around there, so the fact that I'm adding the detail is not a great hindrance to me. What it has done is give me the ability to join up those two there. So what I did there was just select the 2 vertices and just hit X, which is cut between them. That's got rid of that one, and now I can join that one to that one with X, and that leaves me with one triangle there. And any second now I'm going to run another split up here, and all the way down, which will get rid of that single triangle there, because that's not really any use to me there. But I'm going to leave it for a moment, because that's the end of this section. I'll fix that one little triangle that's left on the next video.